Witam wszystkich bardzo serdecznie na kanale Game Live z serii Dziedzictwo Hogwartu, gdzie jakość wątpliwa, a komentarz w miarę satysfakcjonujący.
Isco Rabe told me a couple of students had rescued him. Should have known it was you two.
Is Mr. Rabe all right?
He is. I sent him home to his wife, Miss Onai. Your mother will not be pleased to learn that you're still risking your safety pursuing these dangerous men.
Actually, Officer Singer, Natty and I learned of several Hogsmeade residents who've had their lives threatened by the Ashwinders. In addition to abducting Mr. Rabe to blackmail his wife and Natty, Rookwood and Harlow have also extorted Agabus Filbert and Otto Dibble.
I will look into all of that. As for the two of you, I appreciate what you're trying to do, but you are taking great risk. Next time, please let the authorities handle the Ashwinders.
Wtedy by to trwało, kurwa, miesiącami, byście tego nie rozwiązali. No co, no tak to wygląda.
With all due respect, officer, the authorities haven't done much about any of this.
There's more to taking down an organization like the Ashwinders than simply storming in and hauling them off based on a few accusations. I must insist that you leave them to us. We shall have no further discussion on this.
Dobrze, dobrze.
Natsai, you may wish to speak with your mother about this before I do.
My mother will not like this. Thank you again for rescuing me. We shall speak soon.
Rozejść się. No nic. Pokaż mi mapę świata. Teraz udamy się do Poppy. Zobaczmy, jak tam wygląda sprawa ze smokiem.
The Ashwinders have ceased pestering me. I suspect that's your doing. Thank you from me and Rosie both. We're just leaving for our honeymoon, after we tell Mr. Hill of our recent marriage. Wish me luck.
I can do this. I can do this. They will want to help.
Is this where we're meeting the Centaurs?
Well, they don't exactly know we're coming, so it's less of a meeting and more of a surprise.
Surprise, motherfucker! Dobra, zrozumieją.
Once
Bądźmy
we tell
dobrej
them about
myśli.
the Snidgets, they'll understand why we came and they'll want to help.
I hope you're right. Perhaps they'll be able to tell that we're sincere. There's something about them that's so knowing. It's almost unnerving.
Troszkę.
I suppose they are known for having an air of omniscience.
That's exactly the right word. I just... Never mind.
What is it?
It's nothing, truly. We've no secrets to hide.
That's right. We'll simply be honest with them about what we're trying to do. They'll have to help us, won't they?
Yes, of course. You're absolutely right.
Ta niepewność
We'll
w
meet
waszych
with them,
głosach
tell
aż
them
po
about the
prostu
Snidgets, and
emanuje.
I'm sure to all be fine.
What do you think you're doing here, humans?
Please! We were hoping to speak with you.
Ah! I suppose you'd like a tale for your friends of the time you spoke to a centaur, and it spoke back.
No, never. We're here because we need your help.
Enough! You made a grave error in judgment in coming here, little witch.
Chujowo to wygląda.
Leave them be, Alec. We do not harm the young. It is not our way.
You forget your place, old fool. I'm the leader of this herd, and while you cling to our way, their kind continues to slaughter beasts like us without a care!
From what I can see, they have slaughtered no one. They will leave here unharmed.
Mark my words, Doran. If I ever see them again, it will be all 3 of your heads.
Foolish children. Do you know what happens to wizards who wander here? Now, follow me before
Golden
I...
Snidgets are still alive, and the poachers are after them. They know that the key to finding them lies in the moonlight, but they don't know what that means, yet. Please, help us find the Snidgets before the poachers do.
Could it be? In the south, there is a cave within which lies what the poachers seek. A moonstone. Retrieve it and place it in the henge in the forest. I, on the other hand, must go speak with the herd. Find me after you have done this.
Jeden centaur okazał się dość pomocny.
I don't understand. So the moonlight mentioned in the journal doesn't refer to actual moonlight, but to a moonstone. What do moonstones have to do with Snidgets? And why was he so certain about where we could find one?
Kurwa, więcej pytań niż odpowiedzi, jak zwykle.
Isn't Moonstone all around us? Why retrieve one from a cave?
Knowing centaurs, I suspect he's referring to a specific moonstone. We'll likely know it when we see it.
I don't know, but I am inclined to believe him. What with his being a centaur and all.
I w ogóle, i w ogóle, i w ogóle.
It is a shame how quickly he left. What was his name? Doran.
That's what the leader of the herd called him.
Well, if Doran knows something we don't, I'd rather act now and ask questions later. I can head to the library and start looking into the cave you mentioned. I'll let you know what I find.
Czekam na wieści, Poppy.
Knowing our meat, he's likely studied here.
Smok. Prawie na temat. Ukończyłem wyzwanie, co? No to zobaczmy sobie, coż to odblokowaliśmy. Strój rozmarzonego jasnowidza. Okej. Dobra, mapa. Mój największy przyjaciel to mapa. Jak to wygląda? Wygląda to fantastycznie, proszę Państwa. Jestem zachwycony po prostu swoim progresem, jaki dokonałem na tej mapie. Bo jak widzicie, no mamy dość sporo tego zrobionego. Popatrzmy sobie na misję. Klucze do Dala wciąż w trakcie. Porwanie ciastka zgliczowane. Hipogryf 10, no mamy z tym zadaniem lekki problem. Człowiek z księżycami. Śledź misję. Tak, śledź misję. Bo coś tutaj się chyba odkorkowało. Dokładnie, tak jak myślałem. Musimy się spotkać w Hogsmeade. Chyba z Piersem. Tak, z Piersem. Dobrze myślę.
Lumos.
Care enough to remove my demiguise statues.
Pardon me, sir, But about those curious demiguise statues I've seen.
What? Who are you? Why do you ask?
Bo je zbieram.
They're causing Mr. Moon terrible distress.
Ha! Good. That was the idea.
O ty
So
chuju.
you did create them.
Yes, I did. It was a ploy to give that pathetic oaf Moon a taste of the grief he caused me years ago. You are the one who's been pilfering them.
I am, at the request of Mr. Moon. I received your owl. On your stationery.
Ah. Well, fitting Moon would enlist a student. Too cowardly to do it himself. Hasn't changed a bit. Even when we were at school, he was a cowardly bully. Gave me a horrible nickname, which I shan't repeat. I was thrilled when we left school and he seemed gone for good. Then I started seeing him around Hogsmeade. It was too much. Even if I do take satisfaction in that his life's destiny was to be a lowly caretaker.
Bycie woźnym w Hogwarcie to odpowiedzialne zadanie. Pan Filch, kurwa, miał na sobie niezłą odpowiedzialność.
Mr. Moon does a good deal for the school, and he's taught me a lot. He's terrified of those statues.
I know. You should have seen his face when that boggart appeared. Oh, priceless. That's when I knew what I needed to do. I simply didn't want to encounter him anymore. So, I shrewdly put a boggart in his path to learn his greatest fear. I then created the demiguise statues to keep him in his place, so to speak. The moons were an inspired play on his name. It worked brilliantly. Until you started clearing them out.
Tu wkraczam ja.
The statues are a form of bullying. You're no better than him. Perhaps it's time you both moved on.
Fair point, I suppose. If they've terrified him, as you say, he may have learned his lesson.
Jednym słowem po prostu już nie ma sensu, bo jak się wystraszył, no to cel jakby dokonany, nie? Więc już nie trzeba chyba drążyć tematu. I całe szczęście, że dotarł do takich wniosków.
Lumos.
Obrazy z pejzażami do menażerii. Okej. Dobra, panie Gladwin. Lecimy do pana. Trzeba wyjaśnić sprawę do końca.
Mr. Moon, I've learned who's behind the demiguise statues. It was a classmate of yours that you bullied, Piers Pemberton.
Oh, I might have known. Pigtails Piers.
Kędziorek? Tak, to on.
I don't think he likes being called that.
Of course he does. Oh, we had such flowing locks, and we used to laugh about them. I laughed the hardest of all. Clever, clever man. I'd no idea he was so devious. I must go and congratulate him. Whatever statues remain seem less terrifying now that I know they were put out by old pigtails. Continue collecting them if you like. As for me, I'm gonna go and pay a visit to my old friend.
Pewnie. Piwa się napijcie, przegadajcie stare czasy. Dojdziecie do sedna sprawy. A dlaczego tak, a dlaczego tak? W komnacie mapy pojawił się portret profesor Niam Fitzgerald. Pójdę tam i z nią porozmawiam. Dobra, przejdźmy się po tym cudownym Hogwarcie. Gdyż dawno po nim nie chodziliśmy. W sumie to od odcinka, w którym szukałem posążków Demomajza w Hogwarcie, to tak nie chodziłem po nim za bardzo. Głównie poza terenami Hogwartu, także można sobie zrobić taki mały powrót.
Lumos.
No, wezmę tę ćmę, ale gdzie ją postawić, to do końca nie wiem. O. Irytku! Kogo to zaś będziesz niepokoił z pierwszoklasistów?
You are the talk of the school since you saved Mr. Rabe and I from the Ashwinders. We have come so far. We should discuss the next steps in our plan to stop Harlow.
Siu! Na zdrowie, Bercik. Kurwa, przyjdzie wiosna, to będę miał przerąbane. Ponieważ jestem alergikiem, więc lipa będzie. A może mi ktoś wyjaśnić, gdzie te kropeczki mnie kierują? Bo coś te kropeczki tak nie za bardzo mnie kierują w stronę, w którą zmierzam. No, coś tu się pochrzaniło w nawigacji. Pokaż mi mapę. Oj. Nie wiem, przewalmy się tutaj. Bo coś mi tutaj nie styka. Nie wiem, czemu nawigacja mi troszkę szwankuje. No właśnie nie wiem, pogubiłem się troszkę. No byłem tutaj, szedłem tędy. Ajajajajaj, niedobrze, powiem wam, niedobrze. Jak nawigacja się zepsuła, to mogę mieć mały problem. Nawet nie mały, a duży. No, widzicie, coś kurwa tu jest nie tak. Ale ja już nie pamiętam, jak się wchodziło do komnaty mapy. A dlaczego no? To jest takie nie fair. Tak, wiemy, że to jest pod nami, no i co z tego? No kurwa, no to teraz się zdenerwowałem troszkę. Zaraz porozmawiamy. Skrzydło dzwonnicy. Kurwa, gdzie to jest? Gdzie to jest? Jest. Okej, ja pierdolę, ale żem się... Przez moment myślałem, że tego nie znajdę. Ale całe szczęście. Och.
Welcome back.
Hello, Professor. I have news. The goblins are looking for something. Another repository. They've built drills to help with their search.
Most troubling.
Are these repositories like the broken container I found at Rookwood Castle?
They are. I fear we have no time to lose. Have a look at the map. Fortunately, the next trial is fairly nearby.
It's Hogwarts.
As you know, I was headmistress in my time. My portrait hangs in the headmaster's office. In fact, I witnessed Professor Black learn of your arrival. And I'll confess that I wondered about you.
Wait, is the next trial in the headmaster's office?
It is. I had hoped that when the time came, the occupant of that office would be of help to us. Unfortunately, this headmaster seems wildly unconcerned with anything but himself. You'll need to access the office while he's away.
I understand. Very well. We'll find some way to get in.
Good. I shall meet you in my portrait there. Until then.
No dobrze, jednakowoż najpierw udamy się do Nati. Wiecie, na spokojnie wszystko. Wiemy, że trzecia próba już jest w zasięgu naszej ręki.
Access to the headmaster's office. Perhaps Professor Fig will know what to do.
Ale tu jest ładnie. Wow, naprawdę. Robi wrażenie.
Thank you for your persistence and cleverness. I confronted Piers about it and he confessed straight away.
Tak czułem.
Rascal. We've agreed to let bygones be bygones. Don't forget to say hello the next time you're in the Three Broomsticks. Thrilled to be back there again.
I still can't believe we escaped the Ashwinders.
You may not realize it, but you are the talk of the school since you saved me that day.
I wonder how everyone knows about it.
I told my mother in the hope that she would be more forgiving of what I have been up to if it came from me. She likely told other professors, and news travels quickly.
Jednym słowem
Unfortunately,
poszło.
she might, in fact, have been even less forgiving than I'd hoped.
I don't blame her for being concerned. We have been involved in some dangerous activities.
As the Ashwinders were locking me up and threatening my life, it did occur to me that my mother may have been right.
Has Officer Singer done anything with the evidence we provided?
She has not. Harlow is as strong as ever. Someone needs to stop him, whether it is us or Officer Singer. If someone had stopped the monsters like him in Matabeleland, my father would be alive today.
What exactly happened to your father?
It was a beautiful day. My mother had gone to tend to a neighbor who was ill, and so my father and I were galloping in the savannah.
Galloping? Your father was also an animagus, I take it?
He could become the most majestic giraffe, and he would carry me on his back, my arms around his neck. We were on our way home when we surprised a group of bandits who had come from our village. One of them saw me just as he removed a scarf from his face. He shouted and then aimed his rifle.
He didn't want you to identify him.
Exactly. In an instant, my father bowed his neck to protect me and was hit. As he fell, my father changed back into his human form. When the bandits saw this, they turned and ran in fear. Magic terrified them, and then he was gone. And it was all my fault.
Your fault? How so?
He died protecting me. If I had been capable of protecting myself, he would still be alive today. My mother and I tried to go on without him, but it became too much for us there. A few years later, we left to come to Scotland.
Nie win się za to, Nati.
Do you think taking
To
down
się
the
po prostu
Ashwinders
stało.
will avenge your father's death?
No. Vengeance is not what drives me. My father would not want that. He and my mother raised me to believe that it is a privilege to be able to fight for those who cannot. I know there is risk involved, but I feel it is worth it. I am glad you seem to think so too.
What does your mother think about all of this?
Well, as you saw, she worries a great deal. She is an excellent seer, but I think it bothers her to this day that she did not see my father's death coming. She misses him, as do I. So I believe on some level she understands my need to seek justice in a small way. But that does not mean that she likes it.
Do you think your father would approve of the things we've been doing?
Oh my, that is a good question. In theory, yes. Although he would worry as my mother does. But I think he, of all people, would understand my persistence. My father never shied away from a fight for good, no matter how ruthless the foe. And I think he would have enjoyed knowing that I had a compatriot like you.
I'm sorry, Natty. I can't imagine what you've been through. Your father sounds exceptional.
He was. Truly extraordinary. And thank you for your kind words. We all have our burdens. My father had a saying about that.
Yes, I remember. Rain does not fall on one roof alone.
Exactly. Soon you and I will put an end to the Ashwinders, beginning with Harlow. And once he is gone, we will turn our attention to Rookwood. We are making progress, and we will succeed.
Małymi kroczkami.
Thank you again for saving me. You deserve all of the praise you have received.
One i tak już wiele zrobiły. Powinny zostawić tę sprawę, nie? Ale... No właśnie, ale... Zawsze jest to ale. Zawsze pojawia się to ale i wtedy wkracza nasze działanie. Nati i Weronika to rozwiążą, a ja tylko czekam, kurwa, na kulminację tego wątku. No właśnie, dawno nie rozmawialiśmy z profesorem Figiem. Za chwilę zapomnę, jak on wyglądał. Podzielmy się naszą wiedzą.
Professor Fig, the keepers have shown me where the next trial is.
Has something changed?
Lodgok and I have learned that the goblins are searching for another repository, like the one we saw at Rookwood Castle. And I discovered that they're building massive drills to help in their search. Professor Fitzgerald seemed very concerned.
I see. Ranrock clearly knows even more than we suspected.
And sir, there's something else. Lodgok knew Miriam.
He knew Miriam?
They encountered each other at Rookwood Castle. She was doing research. That's where she found the container with the port key. He liked her so much that he let her leave with it, despite orders from Ranrock.
I don't know what to say. She could win over almost anyone. I want to hear more of this. And, in fact, I'd like to speak with Lodgok directly. But we've no time now. Where is the next trial?
Tu w
Believe it
Hogwarcie.
or not, it's in the headmaster's office.
Incredible. Very well. You'll need the password to get past the stone gargoyle. The headmaster's house elf will know it.
I don't know the headmaster's house elf. Will he even speak to me? I imagine he's loyal to the headmaster.
He is. So you'll need a disguise. I have just the thing. A polyjuice potion. You'll look and sound like Professor Black.
O!
Doesn't polyjuice potion require a bit of the person you want to change into? And take ages to brew?
It does.
So how do you already have polyjuice potion to change into Professor Black?
One never knows when such a thing may come in handy. Let's just say I felt the need to be prepared for anything after my fruitless trip to the ministry on his behalf. Now, time is of the essence. Drink up and I shall explain more.
Bez jaj, kurwa. Miał go akurat przy sobie, nie? Stwierdził, że się przygotuje na wszystko.
How do you feel?
I won't forget that taste anytime soon. How do I sound?
Convincing. I've taken the liberty of transfiguring your robes. As we discussed, you'll need the password from Scrope, who could be anywhere in the castle. You might look for Professor Kagawa. She's taken to badgering the poor elf about Quidditch in the hopes that he can convince Black to change his mind. Thus far, unsuccessfully.
I see. But what if Professor Black sees me?
Leave him to me. I shall tell him where to meet a liaison from the ministry in Hogsmeade. That should give you plenty of time.
Thank you, Professor. I suppose we'll meet again in the map chamber.
It's rather strange to hear gratitude coming from Professor Black. I'll see you there.
Now to find the headmaster's house elf.
To było za mocne. Kurwa.
Professor, a moment of your time. Professor, I was hoping to catch you.
Places to be, Professor Sharp. Places to be.
Of course, sir. Only, you'd asked me about a particular potion, and I
did? I did, yes. Well, spit it out, Sharp. I don't have all day.
Probably best not to discuss it here, sir.
Really? Why can't we talk about potions here? Seems fine to me.
Very well. I've brewed the cure for boils you wanted. I can drop it by your office when it's convenient.
Of course, yes. No need for all the cloak and dagger. Simply have a student deliver it.
A student. Very well, sir, if you insist.
I do. And thank you, Sharp. I just hope you've brewed enough for all my boils.
Now, to determine which student gets...
I wonder almost daily why I accepted this appointment from the ministry.
Mega dobry
What could
wątek.
the headmaster want?
Gareth! Mr. Weasley! What are you doing here? Don't you have somewhere to be?
Oh, Professor. Yes, of course. All sorts of places I'd rather be right now. Do you need something from me?
I'm looking for my house elf. Surely you've seen him?
Ah, the little one-eared fellow. I saw him heading to the Great Hall moments ago, muttering on about your, sterling graces, sir.
I am watching you, Mr. Weasley. Mr. Redding, who owns Honeydukes, tells me some of his billywig stings recently went missing. Prime potion ingredient. And I know you fancy yourself a skilled potioneer.
What? But, sir, I haven't been anywhere near Honeydukes.
Co ty, ja? No gdzie
That's
tu,
enough
kurwa,
from
ja?
you. Just know that I have eyes and ears everywhere. On your way, Mr. Weasley.
Well, there's one for my diary.
Przemierzanie Hogwartu
If you
jako
must
dyrektor.
speak with me, consult my secretaries or what have you. Now move along.
To jest mega sprawa.
Professor Black, how are you?
Mr. Gaunt, where do you think you're going?
I beg your pardon, sir. I'm simply on my way outside.
Taking the day off, eh? Typical student, wasting the hours away.
I have to write 20 inches on Dittany and its uses. Was heading to the greenhouse.
Ah, yes. Mixed with bubo tuber pus makes a fine mustache paste. Yes, mustache paste. I find.
Are you feeling all right, sir? You don't seem yourself.
I assure you I am quite healthy, Gaunt. If I need a medical diagnosis, I shall head to St. Mungo's.
No, dyrektora dzisiaj troszkę popie. Troszkę mu w głowie się poprzekręcało.
Professor, a word?
Pewnie.
Professor Black, again, it is not too late to reconsider your decision regarding...
Nie, to już jest postanowione. Ni chuja nie grają.
We still have trials and a somewhat shortened season. It would be better than none at all.
But the injury, Madam Kogawa.
Professor, more than one student has taken a bludger to the head on our pitch. I dare say it knocked some sense into them. And they're fine now. The fact that it happened to be a pureblood, well, that's no reason to...
What nonsense! That you would trivialize the health of a student over a silly game.
A silly game? You are quite impossible sometimes. Sir, I've a good mind to write to the Department of Magical Games and Sports at the
Kurwa mać, ale my go pogrążamy. Proszę bardzo, kurwa.
I can even provide the parchment should you need it. Now, where is my elf?
Parchment? Very well, I will, and with pleasure. And I spotted Scrope in the Great Hall. Seems to be avoiding me.
I wonder why. Good day, Madam Kogawa.
Z powodu głupiej gry, ja
What did we do
pierdolę.
to deserve him as a headmaster?
You call that a shine on those boots? Do better.
Ale mu robię szajs. Dość, że jest nielubiany, to teraz to już w ogóle go nie polubią.
It's the headmaster and he's coming this way.
Czego się boisz, Cressida?
Miss Broom, a word.
Oh, Professor, this is an interesting surprise. It's Bloom, by the way.
Remind me of your area of affinity, Broom. OWLs
Broom.
are swift approaching.
Charms, sir. Non-verbal spells. Might work on one that makes me disappear.
Well, keep at it, Broom. And before you know it, you'll be as invisible as that new fifth year seems to be.
They're not invisible, sir. I've seen them near the library. In fact, they help me with my, heavy books.
Speaking of invisible, where's my blasted house elf?
Something seems a little off with the headmaster.
Dyrektor dzisiaj się nałykał jakichś dobrych leków i teraz mu trochę
Has
bije.
anyone seen my ivory-handled hand mirror? Of course you haven't.
Professor, a word, please. Hello, Professor Black.
Ah, Professor Weasley. How delightful to see you.
Sir?
Since I have you here, I wonder if I might, speak with you about Professor Fig.
Oh, very well.
I've decided to give him a bit more, leeway with his time.
Leeway, Professor? Are you sure that's wise? I confess I do worry for his students. He's rarely here as it is.
I realize that, and I'd like to keep it that way.
I see. But, sir, if I may, I am wary of how much time the new fifth year seems to be spending away from the castle, supposedly on Professor Fig's behalf. I've heard unsettling rumors of their escapades. Everything from sneaking into the Forbidden Forest to confronting Ranrock's loyalists and Rookwood's lot.
What? Goodness. You cannot believe everything you hear, Professor. No, you cannot. I mean, I shall keep an eye on Fig. You simply keep doing the wonderful job that you're doing. Simply wonderful.
Thank you. But I'm happy to look into...
Good. That'll be all, Weasley. I mean, Professor Weasley. Good day.
A wonderful job. Leeway for Professor Fig? I shall never...
Dyrektor jest trochę
Professor Fig
dupnięty.
some breathing room?
Scrope's as hard a worker as any house elf.
Scrope!
Oh, greetings, Master.
Remind me of the password to my office.
Oh, but Master made Scrope swear never to tell anyone, even Master himself.
Zmieniam zdanie.
And now I'm telling you that you can tell me.
Yes, sir. Of course, sir. Scrope begs forgiveness. It is the Black family motto, Master.
Right. Of course.
Master does remember it.
To związek z panowaniem rodziny. Coś z czystością krwi.
It's pure bloods forever, isn't it?
Close, Master. Scrope thinks Master is indeed testing Scrope. It is always pure.
Obviously.
And, of course, as Master knows, in French.
Ja pier, to super.
Yes, of course. I order you to pronounce it for me.
Mów.
But Master knows that Scrope's French is most pitiful. Oh, very well. Toujours pur.
Ha! Thank you. Never speak of this conversation with me or anyone else.
Of course, sir. Scrope shall try his best to keep out of Master's way.
Polyjuice potion's wearing off. I best get out of sight. Attention, students. I hereby decree that the Great Hall be forthwith decorated...
No i bardzo dobrze. Chuj wam wszystkim w dupę. Ravenclaw górą. No i dobra. O kurde.
Made it just in time. It's wearing off.
Fig was right. I can't believe it worked. Now, to speak the password to the gargoyle.
Muszę przyznać, że świetnie mi to poszło. No i wskoczył mi talent. Mamy to. Wejdźmy sobie w zakładkę talentów i sprawdźmy, w co by tu teraz przycelować. Myślę, że tak. Fala uderzeniowa, jak użyję descendo. A często go używam, więc to się może przydać. No dobrze, misję. Na razie widzę, stoimy w miejscu. Właśnie, stoimy w miejscu. Popatrzmy sobie na inwentarz. Ja tu miałem te mapy, no nie? Z których za cholerę nie umiem skorzystać. Mapa Henrietty, diagram runiczny. O, nie mam zielonego pojęcia, gdzie to jest. No cóż, no może kiedyś to znajdę, no nie?
Off on another adventure, are we?
To była jedna chyba z najlepszych humorystycznych misji, jakie po prostu do tej pory widziałem, no nie. Sam początek, jak Weronika zamieniła się w dyrektora Hogwartu, to jest po prostu... Mnie to rozsadziło. Totalnie zostałem wyprowadzony z tego takiego poważnego tonu. O! Dobrze, 2 pytajniki. Mamy tak. 3, 9, 12. Czyli brakuje mi 7. 2 pytajniki to 7. Czyli to coś. A drugi? 2, 15, 17. 3, 3, 6. A 6 to jest 4, 5, 6. Jaszczurka. Szata szkolna trójcy. Fajnie. Oprawione głowy z krzatów domowych. Naprawdę, nazbierało się tego już potężnie.
How nice to see you, my young friend. Revelio.
Izba pamięci. W pokoju tym znajdują się puchar domów, trofea Quidditcha, trofea pojedynkowe i inne nagrody, przyznane uczniom. Uczniowie popełniający wykroczenia polerują tu ręcznie srebra, aby pamiętali o tym, jak ważna jest ciężka praca. No właśnie się zastanawiałem, gdzie jest Izba Pamięci, bo w filmach Izba Pamięci była w wielkiej sali, tam w takiej wnęce jakby, a tutaj dali ją w zupełnie inne miejsce. Szkatuła czary ognia, wow! Ja! Ty, kurwa, nie spodziewałem się. Czara ognia spoczywa w tej starożytnej, wysadzanej klejnotami skrzyni. Czara służyła do wybierania reprezentantów turnieju trójmagicznego od czasu jego ustanowienia pod koniec XIII wieku. Kurczę, jakby zrobili jakąś część Dziedzictwa Hogwartu, jakby to pociągnęli dalej. I załóżmy, że nagle wprowadzają DLC z turniejem trójmagicznym. Czujecie to? Kurwa. Wymyśliliby takie 3 właśnie zadanka. Bym był jednym z reprezentantów Hogwartu. Kurczę. To by było mega. Na razie mogę pomarzyć, ale naprawdę nie jest to głupie.
Revelio. Alohomora.
Jabłko! Weronika, zjedz sobie jabłuszko. Kochana siostro, bardzo ucieszyła mnie twoja ostatnia sowa. Wygląda na to, że jak zwykle śmiało podejmujesz wyzwania, które stawiają przed tobą nie tylko uczniowie, ale i dyrektor szkoły. Twoja cierpliwość nie zna granic. Skoro już o cierpliwości mowa, dziękuję za wszystko, co zrobiłaś dla Gareta. Twoje przeczucie okazały się słuszne, równowaga dyscypliny i twórczej zachęty to wszystko, czego potrzebuję. Przyznaję, że cieszy mnie, iż jego koledzy z klasy zastąpili mu rodzinę w kwestii próbowania jego najnowszych mikstur. To wspaniałe, że Gareth zawsze potrafi zachęcić tych szczęśliwców i nigdy nie wspomina o możliwości wystąpienia niepożądanych reakcji. No cóż, muszę już kończyć. Przepraszam za tak krótką notkę, wygląda na to, że najmłodsza wpadła w niezłe tarapaty. Rzuciła krasnalem ogrodowym w sterowalne śliwki sąsiada. Znów. Mam jednak nadzieję, że zobaczymy się podczas wakacji. Przesyłam pozdrowienia. G. No nie, jak to w ogóle możliwe? Musimy coś wyrzucić. Nie no, z okularów to ja mogę zniszczyć praktycznie wszystko, bo nie noszę tych okularów w ogóle. Dobra, mam 10 slotów wolnych, to dobrze.
Alohomora.
Całą wieżę mu opitole. Nic nie zostanie. 50 monetek, brawo. Półokrągłe okulary ze złotymi oprawkami. Co to jest? Dyrektor się przegląda, czy co? Srebrne okulary z niepełnymi oprawkami. Okej. 20 monetek. Profesor Hecat, w nawiązaniu do naszej rozmowy napisałem do znajomych z Gringotta. Wszyscy potępili działania Ranrocka, a niektórzy wręcz zasugerowali, że jego motywy mogą być inne niż to się wydaje. Z tego co słyszałem o sposobie, w jaki traktuje swoich pobratyńców, którzy nie chcą do niego dołączyć, opinia moich znajomych z banku wydaje się słuszna. Będę panią informował, jeśli dowiem się czegoś więcej. Na razie jednak musimy pozostać czujni. Z poważaniem, Aesop Sharp. Jezu, dla mnie próbą to już jest samo wejście do gabinetu dyrektora. Patrzcie, ile ja tam idę. Ciekawe.
The gargoyle. That's where I need to speak the password.
Jak to szło?
Toujours pure. Revelio.
Chimera z gabinetu dyrektora. Schody prowadzące do gabinetu dyrektora strzeżone są przez zaczarowaną chimerę, która pozwoli ci przejść tylko wtedy, gdy podasz hasło. Choć i tak ciężko pojąć kogokolwiek, kto chciałby odwiedzać obecnego lokatora tego biura. Ponieważ dyrektor w Hogwarcie w tych czasach to jeden wielki buc. No, ale do gabinetu dyrektora i trzecią już próbę odhaczymy sobie dopiero w następnym odcinku, także zapraszam do oglądania. Z Farcikiem, ziomeczki, yo. Zostaw subskrypcję.